Welcome to AEW Unrestricted, the official podcast of All Elite Wrestling. I am Will Washington, and I am never alone on this show because we've got the one and only, the official, and she is official in so many ways because she is an official. She is Aubrey Edwards.
Hello. Speaking of official, I am sitting here with our official sponsor. We've got AEW Unrestricted podcast is sponsored in part by Upper Deck. You can collect your favorite wrestlers in the 2025 Upper Deck AEW and start your trading card collection today. Get a little ASMR action. Yeah. You can unwrap autograph, memorabilia, premium tech inserts. Visit upperdeck.com to learn more. What do we got? Oh, first one I opened. Look at that. I've got Mr. Hangman Adam Page, which will be, because we're like a week and a smidge away from Full Gear, and I'm really excited to see him face off against Samoa Joe again.
Well, and it's so funny because look who I got.
Wow, look at that.
I got Samoa Joe.
We could not have planned that better.
I know,
legitimately,
right?
We did not plan that. I actually just opened this pack. I was like, oh my God.
This is actually a killer pack I just got. Look at this. All right. I got every card in it. Look, we got Samoa Joe, the challenger for the AEW World Championship at Full Gear next week. We have got Orange Cassidy. We have got Eddie Kingston. I've got Matt Jackson. I have got Queen Aminata. Like, look at this pack. I got Trent.
I pulled Mansoor, which means everyone else in my pack is just a little hotter, just by proxy. Because I love MXM collection. I love that Johnny TV is joined with them. I love the Taya's with them. Like, I feel like it's one of my favorite factions at AEW, and I love me a good faction.
Oh yeah, look, I think factions are currently running wild in AEW, running wild across Ring of Honor, and it's a great time, and I can tell that you're excited about today's show. Aubrey, what do we got going on today?
I am so excited. We are joined today by the other half of the Frat House, because we've previously had on Jack Jameson and Cole Carter, and now we finally get to talk to Preston Vance and Griff Garrison. How are you guys doing today? Are you hungover? Are you feeling okay? Like, what's the vibe going on?
I feel pretty good. I did go to the bar last night, and this is how stupid me and my buddy are. So we go to the bar, and I want to watch the World Series, and for some reason I thought it was, I literally thought it was last night. So I had the bartender turn the TV at one of the TVs for the World Series, and I'm all into it. And I get home, realize it was the replay from the night before. So,
oh my God,
I felt pretty dumb.
Were you the only one at the bar like cheering, and they're all just like
me and my friend were, and I did see some people kind of talking to each other, like, man, these guys are either drunk or really stupid, maybe both. And then when I got home, I was like, oh my God, that was the replay.
Oh my God.
Down bad, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Griff, did you have as exciting of an evening, or?
Not as quite, but I do have my green drink and water, so it was a little bit of a rough night for me.
Oh, there you go. I feel like the green drink and water is just kind of typical whether or not you were drinking the night before.
Well, yeah, but for me, this, like, when I have a green drink, it kind of helps cure that. So for me, that's like my cure.
Awesome. Well, I want to start off by talking about the beautiful job you all did displaying Mercedes Moné's gold at WrestleDream. I want to talk a little bit about the conversation of how that all came down. Like, what the hell happened there? And we'll talk to Griff first on this one because he's got the dance skills.
Yeah. So me and Cole earlier in the night wrestled Hook and Eddie, and then afterwards just got to the back, and then I can't remember who came up to us, but they were like, yeah, do you want to do this? And I was like, oh, do I want to go do the CEO dance with Mercedes Moné on a pay-per-view?
Rhetorical question.
Yeah, sure. That sounds great. But that was a lot of fun. It was just cool because like I was like, dancing is kind of my thing, and to be able to like do it on a pay-per-view is kind of just cool to show like an extra little bit of personality. Yeah, and I got a lot of positive like feedback from it, and it was like, oh, Griff, like Griff getting into it, So.
I've seen Griff at a club, so like as soon as I heard that they were doing that, I was like, oh, they have no idea they picked the best people for this.
Yeah.
But Preston, how are your dance skills compared to Griff's?
Compared to Griff's, really bad. But when I drink enough, in my mind, I'm like Backstreet Boys 2002 backup dancer. Like, I'm good. But I actually wasn't there because in Jacksonville, I strained my groin and my whole leg was purple for like a week. So they left me at
Whoa.
home. Yeah, but so I'm doing physical therapy now, and I'll be back. I go to Houston next week to get me in the ring and stuff, so I'm feeling good. But they texted me in our group chat like, "Oh, we're coming out with Mercedes and doing the dance," and I was like, "Man, I'm so jealous because I'm so bad at dancing where it would have been like pretty comical." But yeah, they killed it. Griff is definitely the dancer of the group, though, for sure.
Appreciate that.
I thought the whole presentation of it was great. The funny thing, kind of peeling back the curtain, is that what we said on TV was that there was nobody good looking enough in St. Louis to represent Mercedes in bringing out the championships, and so therefore we brought out the Frat House. The true story behind that, though, was that there was like a little shortage of extras, and so
that is the true story.
That is the true story. And so after you guys' match, it was like a real conversation of, all right, we need somebody to bring these belts out with Mercedes, and if there's anybody who's kind of got the presence to do it and make it entertaining, it's got to be the Frat House. And so literally that was it. That's what happened. And you guys, I thought, did a wonderful job. I wish Preston could have been there, but
Oh my God.
yeah, I think I came up to you guys during, I forgot when it was, but I remember you guys were sitting in the stands, and I asked you like how you guys were feeling, and it's like I could see the hype in you guys' faces about like, hey, this is about to be a moment. This is going to be cool. And so I guess coming back around to that, like, I guess what were your thoughts kind of going into the idea of, again, this was a very high profile match, Mercedes had a mystery opponent, and just thinking about, kind of every minute you guys get on TV, the minute you've gotten on Dynamite, the minute you've gotten on Collision is always a chance to make an impression and to get to do so in kind of a high profile match. What were some of the thoughts around that?
I mean, I was excited, like you said, just to get any minute I can on TV, like just make the most of it. And every minute, every opportunity, every opportunity is an opportunity. Every minute is, just make the most out of it. And for that, I was actually really excited. I mean, I can't speak for everybody else, but I think everybody else was excited, but probably not as excited as me. But yeah, I just think being on TV and any minute you can is just great.
So I wasn't
yeah.
there, but I'll speak for Cole. Cole was nervous as hell.
Yeah. Cole was
And
very
I
if
would have
you watch the
100%
clip,
guessed that.
when they come out, Cole almost drops one of the belts, and we've been giving shit for it the whole time.
Yeah. They were like, yeah, like jump up and down, like start doing the dance and make sure the belts don't come off. And like as soon as Cole got out there, the first thing that happened just came off of him, and he caught it. Thankfully, I'm glad it didn't hit the ground.
Oh my God, that's insane. Oh my God. All right. I want to talk a little bit about kind of group dynamics and whatnot. And Preston, one of the things that's unique for you is that this is sort of the third group you've been a part of since you joined AEW. You were first originally a part of Dark Order, then you joined La Faction Ingobernables. I always have a hard time saying that. Which, very, very different factions. And then Frat House, which is kind of like over the top in its own way. And I think also at the same time, the best faction, because it's basically like you are yourself. It makes the most sense. So kind of what have you taken from each group that since you've joined from AEW that you bring sort of to the next one?
So the first one, the biggest challenge was wearing a mask, because I never wore a mask on the indies. Like, hey, we're going to put you in a mask. And I was kind of like, man, I don't know if I want to do that, but whatever, sign the contract. And obviously had a blast with working with those guys, and especially under Brody. And so that was like the learning challenge for Dark Order, was wrestling without having now your face to show facial expressions, the breathing, everything is so different. But it was fun, and it was cool to have like such different gear and looks all the time. And I'd always have fans on Twitter design my gear for me. So I had some really cool Dark Order stuff. And then when I joined LFI, the biggest challenge was I don't speak Spanish. And so now, we're in the match and they're talking, like, I don't understand what they're saying. But it was such a good, like, you can still perform even though you don't speak their language. So that was a big challenge that I took from that, where you can work with anybody. And that's like how my whole career, I know I can work with anyone. And I loved working with those guys. Roosh brought out a lot of good, like, intensity in me, because he's just naturally intense all the time.
All the
We
time.
shot some really cool stuff in Mexico City for 2 weeks, which was awesome. So that's the biggest challenge there was the speaking barrier. And now this group, unfortunately, this is the most real me. I make my mom
Unfortunately.
I make my mom proud, I know. But this is definitely most surreal me, and I love this group of guys because they're all, they'll do anything. And there's like, we don't care about the winning and losing, and it's just like we go out there, we have fun, and like Griff said, we make the most of it. And I've known Griff for probably like 8 years now. We met a while ago on the Indies, and now we can finally, work together. And then the other two they're great and always willing to do anything. We have a group chat where we're always like bouncing ideas around. So it's fun to be with a group who's like just as like passionate and just wants to like, okay, yeah, we'll do whatever. And it's not like, oh, I don't want to do this. It's like what we're told to do, we do, basically.
It's really great how you guys' stories got to converge in the way they do, because I was thinking about Supercard of Honor and the 0 hour beforehand, this past July, where you guys and Cole Carter faced off against the Dark Order, and the fact that there was so much history there, and the fans all kind of bought into all of it and were playing along with it. They were chanting, "Who the hell is Griff?" And
which is another Dark Order origin from the PTE,
Yeah, and so thinking about how all of that kind of comes together and really plays a significant part in you guys' story. I thought for the fans to recognize that and recognize that there is so much Dark Order lore going into what exists as the Frat House, I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah, which I also, it's like, I love being with Dark Order. I mean, having Brody like pick me is like, that'll always stick with me. And still every match, there's always a few people that'll start chanting 10, which I think is, it's just something that will always be there. So yeah, I like it. And little Brody coming out of the end was awesome. And we told him like, yo, like you got to be serious, but he got such a big pop. He was just cheesing the whole time walking down there.
He can't be serious. I've said like Amanda's shown me promos that he's like recorded in wrestling practice, and I'm like, no, this kid's like future heel. Like,
for sure.
He says some terrible things. Like,
I know.
Oh yeah, no, that kid went to troll me on my birthday last week, and that he had made a total AI photo of me that he was going to post on my birthday. My kids talked him out of it, but I was like, that would have been fine. But that kid has no serious bone in him at the moment. But I think that's going to make him a pro in no time.
Yeah, he's going to be a star. It's insane, and I feel like a lot of his involvement with Dark Order and a lot of your involvement as well has kind of like shaped who he is, unfortunately. Like
he's got a good role model.
Right. Like throwing your mask at him is still one of like the saddest things I've ever seen.
That was his idea. That was his idea.
Oh my God. Okay. So Griff, you have done a lot to sort of reinvent yourself since the Varsity Blonds, which was the last time we had you on. Like, I keep forgetting that like Julia Hart used to be a cheerleader. Like, this is insane to see like the growth that everyone in your group has sort of had. What are the fans seeing from you now that they didn't really see before?
Well, when I was with the Blonds, I was a babyface, and like that for me was kind of like coming into AEW, being a babyface right off the bat. That was kind of different for me because like my whole career on the Indies, I was a heel. And so now I get to go back to doing that. I feel like I'm just more comfortable, being a heel and just being around these guys. They kind of bring out, like Vance was saying, like my, like kind of like my real personality in a way. Not that I'm an asshole or anything, but like, it's just easier to be a heel, It's just easier to get people to boo you than it is to cheer you. So I think it's just like, kind of like he was saying, it's just, this group has kind of just made it feel more natural.
Hell yeah. Oh my God. I'm so excited. This is already a fantastic conversation. We've got more coming up, talking to two members of the Frat House here on AEW Unrestricted. Stick around till after the break.
This is AEW Unrestricted. It's Will Washington. It's Aubrey Edwards. But most importantly, it is the other half of, I don't even want to say other because that makes it feel like lesser than, but it's really it's not.
Better half. Yeah,
better. They're not here. We can say better.
But of course, we do have the one and only Griff Garrison. We have got Preston Vance and we're talking Frat House. And we were talking about the idea of working heel in that, Preston, that's really the majority of what you've gotten to do. That, kind of course, post the passing of Brody, you got to really work as a babyface with the Dark Order. And that was really, you were talking about the 10 chants and things like that. And, that we were really starting to see some that really gaining traction. I remember being in, I want to say it was Miami in 2021, and there were kind of 10 chants across the board.
Yeah.
And so, for the both of you, and I want to start with you, Preston, talking about the idea of having to essentially start over as a heel. Do you sometimes feel like when you do have to reinvent yourself and do have to kind of step into something new, do you sometimes worry about the things you're leaving behind in order to step into that new role?
Yeah, there's always that thought of like what was left on the table, but also, you need to be able to reinvent yourself. You can't be the same character and have a long career, because it does get boring for not only the fans but for the performer. As much fun as I had doing the 10 thing and LFI and all that, there does get a point where it's like I kind of want to do something else. And then I like to not only prove to myself but prove to everyone, like, you throw anything at me and I'll do it. You know what I mean? It's not going to be like, oh, well, I can't do that because I'm not that person. I'm not Mexican, and I was in a all Mexican. That never crossed my mind. I was stoked they gave me a cool like turning moment on TV. And like same with the Dark Order.
I almost wish we would have done something with that, where like it just never crossed your mind that you're like the odd one out.
Like,
and everybody's just kind of looking at you, and it's
Yeah.
like, well, what about this guy? And he's like, what about me?
Yeah. See, there's stuff like that was left on the table, but that's more like comedic stuff, I guess. And Roosh is so serious.
Oh, yeah.
But I love doing the serious stuff, and like we had a lot of good like blood matches when I was doing that, and I love doing the comedy stuff too. So I think a good performer will have like longevity if they can truly do anything that the boss asks them to do.
Hell yeah. Oh my God. Okay. I want to talk a little bit about team cohesion, team chemistry, all that sort of fun stuff. Griff, what's sort of your favorite part about working with all of these guys in particular together?
Honestly, working with them is great, but honestly, before the show, we're all just kind of sitting around hanging out, because like we hang out with each other. Like, I don't know if a lot of groups or tag teams or whatever kind of do that before the show, but like we'll just sit in the stands and just talk shit and just crack jokes and just and just get to know each other on that level too. So I think that for me is one of the best parts of working with these guys, because honestly, everybody in the group is funny in their own way, and they always keep me entertained. So I think that for me is definitely up there in terms of working with these guys.
And then on the other side of it, the wrestling side, and again, both of you guys have been able to work in teams and kind of working the trios matches with Cole in particular. How has that dynamic been? And I'll start again with Griff.
That's been great. I think it's just kind of come naturally to us. I mean, I feel like the three of us are kind of just the same. Like, we just grew up, playing sports and just having, like a kick-ass attitude. And that's just what makes the group work well together. And then obviously we got Jameson, on the outside being the mouthpiece. So he kind of yeah. So I think me, Vance, and Cole, it was just kind of great putting us together, because like I said, it was just, our chemistry's there. It was there from the beginning. And I think you can see that in the ring.
One of the things I noticed during the pandemic, and Cole Carter kind of said this as well, working with you guys, is that Griff is sort of this amazing ring general, where like he remembers everybody else's spots. He's kind of keeping tabs on like what everyone else is doing in the match, just to kind of keep things cohesive and moving along. Preston, would you sort of agree with that? And where do you kind of see everyone else filling in their roles? In a wrestling sense.
Griff has worked with Cole more than the rest of us, and he is really good at handling Cole in a sense.
Well, we may need to dive into that a little bit more.
But no, Griff is great. I mean, I love working with Griff because I've known him for so long. So in the ring, when if it's a tag, when it's me and him, I feel very comfortable. Jameson does great with his stuff on the outside, getting the fans involved and hyped up. I think my role is to kind of, going back to Cole, is to kind of calm Cole down, like his nerves and stuff before. Because before we go out there, I'm always like fucking around with all these guys, like always like messing with them, like slapping their butts. And Cole's like, man, don't you get nervous? And I'm like, no, this is fun, man. So I think my role is definitely to just like get everybody in like more of a fun, because it's a fun group, so you can't go out there stiff and like worried about stuff. You just have to, like be loose. And so I think that's kind of what I bring to the group, is the calm the nerves of everybody.
That kind of takes me back to some things. And it's funny because I wanted to ask Griff about this on the last podcast, but we were only able to have the two. But Cole talked a little bit about the Baby Boys tag team and how a big part of what you guys were able to do with the Frat House was sort of give the team new life, because you guys were kind of starting to get some steam under yourselves, and then obviously we had to move forward, and so kind of talk a little bit about going from the tag team and kind of knowing Cole the way you were getting to know each other as a tag team to then moving into the trio. More than a trio, I suppose, because there's four of you, but specifically, yes, into the faction.
There we go.
Well, like Vance was saying, like I think Cole he had that nervous energy, like he was like excited, nervous energy. So I think that kind of carried over. But I think it was good that I was able to, tag with him in the Baby Boys tag team early on, and then kind of transition over into this because I kind of knew his tendencies, like what he liked to do, what he didn't like to do. And so I think for me, that helped me personally going into it, because that just, like I knew he was this way. Like I didn't just get thrown into it. Maria helped him as well as me, like kind of what Vance was saying, have that like relax and like kind of calm down his nervous energy. So I think us transitioning to that, I think he is more like me and Vance and Jameson in regards to like he's kind of the party boy and stuff like that. So I think he fits this mold a little bit easier than he did in the last tag team. So even though he still gets that nervous energy, I still think he's more himself, if that makes sense.
Hell yeah. Oh, it makes total sense. And it's one of those things, like, I think that's the sign of a good faction, right? Is that you see the potential that the people in your group have, and you try to figure out a way that you can harness that and kind of bring that out of them and just kind of build everybody up, because you're only going to be as good as like your weakest component. So might as well just make each other strong, right?
Yeah. Yep. And Cole's going to be like, he has all the potential in the world. I think he could be amazing.
He's got the look. He's got the skills. Like he's very pretty
too. Yeah,
very athletic, very pretty. Definitely has a future. All right, still talking to the Frat House. This is awesome. We've got more to talk about here on AEW Unrestricted. Stay tuned. We've got to take a little break. Give a shout out to our sponsors, but we will return very soon. AEW Unrestricted. Aubrey, Will, Griff, Preston. We've got half of the Frat House on today. We've had half of the Frat House on previously, and now we get to talk to the other two guys in the crew who have amazing histories at AEW. I think both of you guys came in during the pandemic, so it feels like it's been a lifetime since I've known both of you. We were just talking about the beforehand, like, oh my God, it's been like 3 years, 4 years. Like, what the hell's going on? Time is a flat circle. This is crazy. One of the things I love about the Frat House is seeing you guys do like the pledge parties and stuff like that happen like the Tuesday nights beforehand.
Yeah.
How did that all come together? Because I feel like that's a brilliant way to use you guys outside of the ring.
So one of the guys who works for AEW, like works with the sponsorships, it was kind of his vision, and we're like, yeah, we're down. So we did that for a few weeks, and we got some cool footage and videos. And then, and then one of them got, I guess you could say, a little bit out of hand. So they kind of like, it was kind of like
pull us back a little bit.
We were kind of considered a walking liability at one point, which I understand. So they kind of kiboshed it, but we had fun doing it. And like I said, like the vignettes and stuff we filmed, because it's like, we were actually like partying with the fans. It was real. So I can understand how it could be kind of an issue. So that got kind of pulled back a little bit, but we had a lot of fun doing it. That's for sure.
I mean, I guess this is AEW Unrestricted, and so there are points where we have to answer those questions for the fans, but you kind of left us hanging on the walking liability, and I kind of want to dive a little bit more into that as much as we can.
I'm not pointing fingers, but it was Cole Carter. It was his fault.
I guessed it. I should have taken the bet.
Yeah, he can. Me and him, we're like off screen. Me and him are the ones who like to go to the bar the most, and he calls it the domino effect, where he's like, "Well, if Vance goes, I'm going to go." So he's like, basically, if I go, he's going to follow behind me. And I remember one night we were sitting at the bar, and he was pretty drunk, and he goes, "I'll follow you till the ends of the earth."
Oh,
like, all
man.
right. He's like my little brother. But yeah, there was an incident where it wasn't with us, but the fans were drinking too. So then the fans kind of started getting in a fight with each other.
Oh no!
And Cole, I don't want to say he was instigating it, but he wasn't stopping it. That's for sure. So after that was in Dallas. It kind of got kiboshed after that.
Oh man, that's ridiculous. And then you guys got to come to karaoke, sing with fans a little bit, which was fantastic.
Yes.
I remember we were talking about that, and same licensing guys come up to me and they're like, "Hey, we're doing karaoke. Can the Frat House show up?" I'm like, "Well, absolutely. Like, I should be asking you. Like, this is a phenomenal integration. Yes, let's do it." Griff, what's it like singing karaoke with a bunch of fans?
That was a lot of fun too. That kind of brought out another more personality out of me as well. Like doing the CEO dance on the pay-per-view. Because I'm a big karaoke guy, especially if you get like a couple of drinks in me to begin with. But I can do it sober as well. So I just think going up there with the guys and just being in there with fans was really fun. And we got to let loose, so that was really cool. And we got to sing with this one guy. He came up because they did a drawing. They were like, okay,
yeah,
so who's
we did
gonna sing?
A random pairing.
Yeah, I was like, who's gonna sing with the Frat House? And I can't remember the guy's name, but he came to us and he was like, "Trust Me, Yeah" by Usher. And he just did the whole thing, and it was great. He rapped the whole song, and we
were essentially the backup dancers at that point,
which was great. It was an excellent visual. It was a lot of fun, and it was just a reminder of events like karaoke. You never know what's going to happen, and when you can get guys like the Frat House in and end up getting paired with them, you're going to have fun. And you do not want to miss the next time we do something like that, because it is special.
Set me up for some sort of new project. Thanks, buddy.
Kind of one of the ways I wanted to circle back and talk about where I want to commend the both of you is that one of the things that we kind of get stuck on in the modern age of professional wrestling is in kind of ourselves is that one of the biggest things that's happened in the last 4 or 5 decades in professional wrestling is reinvention. Is that you've seen a lot of stars, they take the time to reinvent themselves. And in the modern age of the internet, a lot of people are afraid to do that, because then you kind of lose a lot of some of the cachet you built with fans. But you guys haven't been afraid to do that. And I think that's really cool. Like when you look at, historically, you look at somebody like a Scott Hall who had multiple gimmicks before he found what worked for him. And you have, or a Kevin Nash who was Vinny Vegas. You have times where people were able to find themselves and reinvent themselves multiple times before they found what worked. And I, especially for, I want to talk to you, Vance, about this, and that, you haven't been afraid to do so. What do you say, or what would be your advice, I guess, to somebody who might be afraid to take that leap and maybe try something new?
You can't be afraid what other people think about you. And that's with anything, because it's if you cared about that, I probably wouldn't even started wrestling, because I come from a pretty small town. And when I told them I want to be a pro wrestler, everyone was like, "Oh, that's awesome." But a lot of people would be like, "No, I'll never make it." So it's you have to not be afraid of what other people think. And you also have to believe in yourself. If you're going to do it, just commit to it. If it flops and doesn't work, then it flops and doesn't work, and you go back to the drawing board and try again. It's it's not the end of the world. That's like when we were talking earlier about the nerves and stuff. So I always tell Cole, I'm like, okay, you go out there and you mess up. Who cares? You messed up. It's not the end of the world. It's like next day is going to come and you're going to be fine. So I think people get so stuck on, and I get it now. We're in a world of social media where people can just, flood you with hate comments, and you just got to look past that. It's whatever. We have an awesome job. It beats a real job 10 out of 10 times, so that's how I look at it. You can't, and it's fun just to challenge yourself and do like these characters that you really aren't. Like for me, like LFI and then wearing the mask, it's like, it wasn't me, but I had so much fun doing it, and I'm glad I did it.
I think it kind of branches you out as a performer and kind of rounds you out a little bit, because if you're outside of your comfort zone, you'll be forced to try things that maybe you hadn't before. So from that instance, I think it's like, it's scary, but it can be so worth it. And I feel like you guys are a really good kind of example of that. Like what you come in as is not necessarily like, it could work great. And then you could come up with something that works even better. So this is awesome. I've got a couple little rapid fire questions. Kind of want to see what your guys' opinions are. So we'll start with Griff. We obviously know you're the best dancer in the group, but who's the second best dancer of the Frat House?
It's not Jameson. He moves like a robot.
I saw that coming.
Honestly, I don't know if I've ever seen Vance dance. That rhymes. That's cool. I've never seen Vance dance. Like I've never. So I would have to see Vance, but I guess my answer now is Cole.
So me and Cole in a dance off. Got it.
Yeah, that's what I need to see. Yeah.
I think we have a new segment we need to do.
Well, I'm going to go the other end. I'm going to ask, like we've really talked about who the biggest partiers of the group are, but who's the most responsible one?
Ooh.
Griff.
Me. I feel like I'm the yeah.
It's
I'm
not even close.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take being the dad of the group.
Yeah, someone has to make sure that everybody gets home at the end of the night.
Yeah, that's me.
That's Griff.
I mean, that's a true buddy. So who of the rest of the AEW roster of our talent would you like to recruit to the Frat House?
Ooh. That's hard.
Personally, I feel like Austin Gunn would be a great addition.
Oh my God, the Guns would be awesome.
Yeah,
both of them.
Both of them.
And they're two of my like real life best friends. And
that's why I thought about it. I was like,
Austin
who
used
does
to
Vance go
live.
with?
Austin used to live right above me in the same condo building. So me and him used to tear up Jacksonville Beach. So if there's one guy I would like to join, it's 100% Austin Gunn.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, on the other side of that, who in AEW would not survive a night in the Frat House?
Ooh.
I feel like, anyone who's like sober.
Yeah. It's one of those things, like I don't often drink. I'll go to the bar and get like a bubbly water with a lime, so it looks like I'm partying.
Yeah.
But like, man, I get so frustrated at these antics like 30 minutes in. Like, I am not having a good time. Like, I need to go home.
Yeah,
I go to bed at 10 p.m.
I think there's a pretty big list of people who would probably get pretty annoyed of us at the bar. I don't know if I can pick just one.
The list of that is probably bigger than the list of people who would join the Frat House.
100%.
Do you guys have any like fun travel stories or maybe things that fans haven't heard about the antics from your group?
Well, we touched on Cole getting rid of the whole bar party thing. Cole is also notorious for never remembering what room he's in.
Is he one of those people that like takes the picture of the number when he checks in?
He doesn't take the picture, and even if he did, it wouldn't work because he loses his phone every single week.
Yeah,
when we were in Jacksonville at Daly's place, he lost his phone for 9 hours straight, could not find it. Yeah. And he was just like, didn't really worry about it. I'm like, dude, it might be in like the seats like where the fans are right now. And but he loses his phone weekly.
Yeah, and then
he's probably one of those guys that has like the 1111 password too, because it's just like, why wouldn't you?
So, and he air tags everything, like his wallet, his keys. I think they're in his shoes because I was in his hotel room the one time.
This is what I was going to bring up.
It was me, him, Griff, and Aaron Solo, and us three. We keep getting like the notification on our phone, like, oh, this isn't your device, like the person who owns this can see. And I'm like, I don't have anything on me. So we're all talking about it. And then Cole's like, oh yeah, I got a bunch of air tags in here. I'm like, oh my God, dude.
Oh,
Oh
man.
my God. Yeah, honestly, I think we've gotten so much out of this conversation with you guys. This has been an absolute blast. And I feel like as a group, you guys are just scratching the surface as far as what the Frat House has brought to the table, can bring to the table, and is going to bring to the table.
Hell yeah.
I guess to close this conversation out, Griff, what, when it's all said and done, do you want fans to have taken away from what the Frat House did?
I mean, not only be the best partiers, but just guys that are able to reinvent themselves, have a good time, try to bring energy to people, and just kick ass, honestly.
I feel like one of my favorite quotes I've ever heard in wrestling was from Billy Gunn, and he once said, "If it isn't fun, why the fuck are we doing it?" And I think
Right.
the
Yeah.
Frat House epitomizes that to an extent. Like, wrestling at the end of the day is supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be entertaining, and I think you guys take that and like turn it up to 11, and you do a phenomenal job doing it. And every time you're on my screen, I'm so excited because I know you guys are going to do crazy things, antics, whether you're singles, tag, trio, the whole faction themselves. Like, it's a phenomenal group, and I'm so glad that you guys found the pairing of all of your different combinations and coming together, because it's been really, really fun to watch you guys all grow together.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah. For those of you that do not know, AEW Unrestricted is sponsored in part by Upper Deck. You can collect your favorite wrestlers in the 2025 Upper Deck AEW Start Your Trading Card Collection today. Unwrap autograph memorabilia, premium tech inserts. Visit upperdeck.com to learn more. You can listen to and follow this podcast, AEW Unrestricted, at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. You can check out the video episode and see these two amazing young gentlemen and all their beautiful faces. Just go to AEW, search AEW on YouTube, hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. If you're not an AEW insider, you can get access to ticket pre-sales, special merchandise offers, and more straight to your inbox. Sign up today, AEWTIX.com. And of course, don't forget Dynamite TBS Wednesdays, 8 p.m. and streaming on HBO Max. Collision live every Saturday on TNT. ROH streams every Thursday on Honor Club. I am Aubrey Edwards along with Will Washington. Thank you so much for listening. Remember to drink your water and don't drink and drive. Peace out, everybody.